Hello everyone and welcome back to Routing Around. Today I'm going to go through Time Domain Reflectometry, or TDR for short, and how this can be used to troubleshoot broken cables or intermittent connections. I used the TDR test for the first time this week, and I used it to help me troubleshoot why some CCTV had gone down. I'll reveal at the end of the video what was the cause of the issue. Okay, so I've just opened up the switch, which I covered in my last video. You can see that here it says switch and then there's an arrow. That means I've entered as a standard user, and to be able to run the commands that I need to run, I need to change to a privileged mode. Because this switch hasn't been set up and I'm just using it as a test switch, there isn't a secret or a password. So all I need to do is type in EN and then hit return. And you can see now that I've gone from this arrow to a hashtag. The hashtag means that I'm running in a privileged mode. What I'm now going to do is use the command show interface. And then I'm not sure how I want to finish the command. So what I'm going to do is put a question mark. And you can see here all of the options that I have to finish off the command. What I think I want to use here is show interface summary. So I'm going to finish that command off like that. And this will just bring up a list of all of the interfaces that I have on the switch. So if I just change over to the switch here, at the moment you can see there's actually no connections whatsoever apart from my serial or console cable connection. So if I go back to the CLI, all of this information reads as 0. So what I'm going to do is click Control-C, and that basically stops the command from running. What I want to do is connect a device to my switch. So if I take this Cat5 cable that I made in the first video, I'm going to put it on port 1 on the switch. So you should see here that on port 1 it is now connected. The other side of this is actually my phone, so I'm just using an adapter and connecting to my phone. I can see this line here which says that Gigabit Ethernet 101 state has changed to up, which is great. What that means is the port is now on and live. So if I hit return, and I'm going to do this show int summary again, you'll notice there's a little asterisk just here, and what the asterisk means is that the interface is up. So now that I'm connected to the switch and I know that the interface is up and running, I've set up a sort of replica example of a use case for the TDR test. So a TDR test, it stands for Time Domain Reflectometer. And what the test is used for is it's used as an instrument to identify and locate mechanical faults with cabling or wire. This can be used on twisted pair, so our Cat5 cable, or it can actually be used with coax cable as well. Okay, so now I've verified that my device is connected to the switch and the port is up. That's great. Now what I need to do is run my TDR test. So the command I'm going to use for this is test cable TDR, and then I'm going to use the interface that it's connected to. So that's interface GI 1/0/1. That's now going to run the test. This then says to me, really helpfully, use show cable diagnostic TDR, and I just need to put the interface again that I'm using that to connect to. So if I put interface GI 1/0/1 and I'm going to hit enter, you'll see this now shows me a list of like a table of the test. The most important section that I'm looking for is over here, which says that my pair status is normal, 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 and normal. Now this is an example of a cable that is currently working and is connected to my device. What I'm now going to do is take the cable that we removed from the situation for the CCTV. And what I'm going to do is put this on a different port, so I'll leave them both connected. I've got the second cable. I'm just connecting a second cable to the switch. I'm going to grab my MacBook and I'm going to put... Okay, so after connecting the second cable, I'm now going to use the the test cable TDR command. So because I've already used it, I'm just going to hit the up arrow on my keyboard, and I'm going to change the interface because we've already tested interface 1. We now need to change that into interface 2. So I'm going to click to run the test, and now that the test is run, I'm going to go back up to show cable diagnostic and look at the diagnostic that I've just ran for the second interface on the switch. So if I hit enter here, now this is definitely not what we want to be seeing. If I go over to the end where it says pair status, all of these say open, and you will notice on the other one that that's not what it says when it's connected to a device. It should say normal, or what we can see sometimes is if the cabling is done incorrectly, it will say short, or there'll be an issue with the termination. In this case, we actually had a different cause to the problem. So what I'm going to do is show you, if I can, what caused the issue here. We could actually see the damage that's visible on the cable, and we were able to determine this remotely using the TDR test. And when we went to site and picked this cable up, we could obviously see that it had been chewed through and caused the CCTV camera to go offline. So as you could see the damage on the cable, we were obviously able to determine that there was a fault with the cable remotely. As soon as we looked at the TDR test, we could see that all of the pairs were showing as open, and that's not what we want to see when it's connected to a device. So it just took us some time to go and do a site visit and replace the patch cable that we determined the issue with. It's really good because if you've got long runs of cable that are hundreds of meters, it's able to tell you whereabouts. So it could say you've got a cut at 30 meters or 50 meters. And when you're in a building that has infrastructure behind walls, the test is really useful for being able to determine whereabouts or where to look for an issue. For us, that was really useful because it was connected to a port that had a much longer run of cable. And because of the accuracy of the test, we knew that it was a problem with the patch cable. So we were able to look straight at the cabinet, and we could see that something had obviously chewed through the cable. So once we'd replaced the cable with a stronger external grade cable, we were able to connect it back to the cab, and the CCTV camera came online almost straight away. So it was a ticket resolved.